Hello, amazing souls. So, today I'm going to talk a little about cleansing and the fifth dimension. So, recently I talked about the cycle of cleansing that we are in right now. And this is not only on a global scale, but also on a personal level. With this cleansing is also this desire from people to start to move into the fifth dimension. Now, some of you have an insane, strong pull and desire to move into this fifth dimension, where others it's kind of like, oh, I don't even know what that is exactly, and what am I supposed to do? At any rate, most of you out there probably don't even know how to move into the fifth dimension, and that's okay, because the fifth dimension is not a place. So the fifth dimension is a desire to shift your consciousness into happiness, peace, and abundance. And we have to do that with some pretty hard work in order to shift into that amazing fifth dimension, where we then are aligned to receiving amazing happiness and living with happiness, and receiving peace and living with peace, and receiving abundance and living with abundance. So again, it's not a place, it's not like a country or a city or a town or a state or anything that you can move to. It is a shift in consciousness. And what I mean by a shift in consciousness is just shifting into a state of awareness of your higher self. So it is where you can manifest your desires and your needs much easier. So it is a higher state of consciousness. Now here's the kicker. We all want that amazing stuff. We want to be in that amazing state of heightened awareness, and where we vibrate on a much higher frequency, where things just sort of easily start to come to us, with that amazing law of attraction and resonation. But here's the kicker. You got to do the dirty work. So in order to move into that fifth dimensional state of consciousness, you have to do the dirty work. And what that means is we have to work on ourselves. So you have to work on yourself. You have to work on all of those things that are ugly about you. And so that means your ego. That also means the materialistic thoughts. It means all of your traumas and the nasty and yucky part of you. You have to work on all of that in order to shift into the fifth dimension. You can't move your consciousness to a higher frequency, a higher level, or dimension without first working on all of your garbage. All of that garbage, all of that baggage. So what you have to do is you have to work on all of that junk, that dense, heavy energy that you carry. You have to work on it, and you have to shed it. And when you shed that dense energy, you become lighter, become much lighter. And when we become lighter, we are able then to raise our frequency and raise our vibrations to a much higher state, like the fifth dimension. So what do I mean by shedding all that dense energy and doing the dirty work? So what that is learning to understand and working on the why, and understanding you, working on you, You, on a very deep level, understanding why you have certain baggage. For example, maybe you have this insane need to always have someone around, that you just have an issue with being alone and you need to have somebody around all the time. Well, why? Why exactly? Why is that so important to you? Why is it that you can't be happy on your own? Why is it that you feel you can't do things on your own? So that's the kind of dirty, yucky baggage that we have to work through. And as you work through all of that stuff and you understand yourself on a deeper level, it sheds all of that dense energy, because once you start to understand yourself and the why, you become more lighter, because it's like, oh, it's not baggage anymore. Now I get it. So it's not baggage. And what happens then is you start to shift your consciousness from that dense, I have to have somebody because I don't want to be alone, I got to have it, to, oh, okay, well, now I understand why I feel that way, and being by myself is actually really kind of nice. And look what I can do on my own. Look what I have done on my own without someone else there. How much have you learned? And that raises your vibration, raises your frequency, and shifts your consciousness to a higher state of self. So when we shed all of that garbage, what it does is it lightens our energy, and we are then able to focus more on the higher level of consciousness, that higher need, that higher self, where we can then shift into the fifth dimension consciousness. You have to want it, and you have to desire it. Again, things are not going to be just thrown at you and say, oh, here you go, if you're not resonating at a higher frequency. It's a little harder to obtain things that we desire, we need, or we want when we are heavy and negative and just weighed down with a lot of baggage. So you have to really want it, and you have to desire it in order to shift your consciousness. And it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of patience, and it takes guidance. Because sometimes, more often than not, when you start working on all that stuff, you end up having more questions than answers. I'm a certified spiritual guidance coach, and I have not only worked on my own garbage, but I have also guided many, many people through this amazing shift and working into your higher self. So if you are really desiring it and passionate about it and you want help with it, you can reach out to me and we can come up with a plan and a program that would work for you and move you into a much higher frequency, a much better level of understanding, and into the fifth dimension where you have that abundance and you have that peace and you have that happiness. You have those things that are so easily available to you versus the denser energies, which makes things so much harder to obtain. Anyway, guys, have an amazing day. Love and light to you all. And, work on your baggage. Again, reach out to me if you're really wanting to work on yourself and you're really wanting to shift your consciousness and learn how and what to expect and what to do. I will be more than happy to talk to you. Just email me. Have a good one.